morning, mums. This is probably going to be one of quite a few videos where I cover the topic of guilt. And today I'm going to talk about guilt in relation to self-care. We've talked in another video about the importance of self-care for mums and how activities that you choose to do for self-care are really important to make sure that they actually connect with a sense of self-replenishment. Because it's going to be different for every mum. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today though about the relationship between self-care and guilt. It's the elephant in the room, basically. I know that a lot of mums don't invest in self-care for the pure reason that they feel guilty for doing it, that they feel like they should be doing something else, whether it be house duties or something to do with the kids, spending more time with the kids, with your husband. If you run your own small business like I do, you probably feel guilty for not being working in the business. There's a lot of different reasons why you might feel guilty. I want you to understand though that guilt is not uncommon, but you certainly can't live a guilt-free life. There's experts out there that will tell you that living guilt-free is just not possible. But having too much guilt is very unhealthy. Now, I want you to understand that the people in your life that you constantly give to probably do take up a lot more time than you think. So if you were actually to weigh up all the hours in a day or in a week that you spend doing something for someone else, whether that be, like I said, your kids, your work colleagues, your boss, your partner, your friends, all the things that you do that actually aren't to do with investing in you, I'm very, very sure that it would far outweigh the time that you ever do things for you. And this includes the time that you might take for your basic self-care needs. So that is washing yourself and feeding yourself and, watering yourself. These things will probably happen, but for the most part. But I'm sure that time that you spend on yourself for those basic needs gets outweighed by the things you do for others. So when you look at it from a mathematical perspective in terms of amount of time spent on yourself, there's a lot more there that you could possibly spend on yourself without it even tipping that scale. How about you look at it this way though? When you don't make time to care for yourself, you are saying that everything else around you is more important than you. Okay. So you might feel like your kids are more important than you. I'm not talking about that. You're saying that the washing is more important than you. The dishes are more important than you. Work is more important than you. Cleaning is more important than you. Really? Is this true? Do you think that all of these things would actually get done or done well if you became sick or burnt out from chronic stress, or just simply running on empty so much that you can't cope anymore with doing these tasks? Do you think things would run well? No way. There's nothing to feel guilty about when you put yourself ahead of some of these mundane tasks or activities. You can't function without replenishing your cup. And you can't give to others without doing that either. It is important to invest in self-care, and the guilt is unfounded. Like I said, if you look from it from a mathematical perspective, there's certainly nothing to be guilty about. If you look at it from an importance and priority perspective over the mundane tasks or activities you do, there's nothing to be guilty about. You are important. Once in a while, I still get the guilts as well. I might do something for myself and sometimes it'll take a complete physical stress reaction, such as a migraine or a back pain or an angry outburst, to actually recognise that my self-care practice has been neglected. And suddenly I realise that there's no longer a reason to be guilty about taking some time for myself. It's become critical. I know that I'm no good to the people around me, my kids, my family, when I'm stressed, angry, tired, or in unnecessary pain. If I'm not happy, my kids aren't happy. If I'm not happy, my husband's not happy. These are strong reminders for me that there is no justification for my guilt over looking after myself and making time for self-care. And they should be reminders for you too. So tune into yourself, tune into your feelings, tune into the way that your body is reacting to stress, to burnout, to overwhelm. And remind yourself that it is okay to look after you. You are still a person, you are still a human being, and you still need to be looked after just like any other person on this planet. And you can't continue to look after other little people unless you look after you too.